ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, we're checking out a horror film from 1989. That movie is Psycho Cop. Now, I can tell you this right now. I may never have seen Psycho Cop, but I have seen the sequel many, many times. You see, back in the early 1990s, when I was about 13, and my family had finally gotten cable, I got to watch Psycho Cop 2, also known as Psycho Cop Returns, on Showtime one night. In fact, I actually taped it that night because the plot in TV Guide sounded so interesting. And I wound up really enjoying the movie. It was a goofy, fun film, albeit with all of the gore cut out, because apparently Showtime didn't want to show a bunch of gore in the movie. I don't know why. But I had a lot of fun watching it, and I got to catch it on USA one night, which naturally cut even more out because of content and all that fun shit. But still, it was a sharp, witty, and fun movie, and I always wanted to watch the first one, but I never found it on TV, I never found it on DVD. I finally broke down and decided to download it from YouTube, because I found that somebody had uploaded the movie. Now I finally have my chance to watch it now. I'm certainly hoping for it to be a fun movie. The only thing I know about it going in is that the killer's name is Joe Vickers, and he's a police officer. And if this thing is half as witty and as goofy and as fun as Psycho Cop 2 was, I'm gonna have a lot of fun watching as Vickers just completely rips up people in the fucking woods. This should be fun. Yes, guys, I'm going into this thing with high hopes. I'm certainly hoping for it to be a fun movie, but the only way I'm going to find out is if I shut up and I push play. And I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Psycho Cop. So, guys, this movie has set up something that I love about a lot of slasher movies. We have been introduced to our cast of characters, and they're all unlikable douchebags. Which means it's going to be even more satisfying when our killer goes nuts and starts wiping out each and every one of them. God, I can't fucking wait. It is going to be so satisfying to watch Officer Vickers dispense his special brand of justice on every one of these shitbags. Can't fucking wait. Well, guys, I have good news and I have bad news. Bad news is that Vickers hasn't killed any of the assholes in this fucking house. Good news, I've had more time to listen to all of them and all of their irritating and annoying ways. It's going to be even more satisfying when he starts fucking killing them. I'm so filled with anticipation it almost hurts. But goddamn, it's going to be satisfying when he starts killing off these fucking irritating shitheads. Wow. He just fried a victim by tasing him in the balls. That was fucking awesome, dude. Hell yeah. That so far has been the best kill in this entire movie. Fucking loved it, man. Hell yeah. Alright, guys, I think I've officially hit the stupidest moment in this entire movie. So, Vickers has one person trapped in the house. You know how he trapped her? He locked the door and took the key. Yes, he locked her inside the house by locking the door and taking the key. I am not a locksmith, but I've seen enough doors to know that you can manually unlock them from the inside. How she's trapped in that house, I have no fucking clue. But somehow, him taking away the key is enough to keep her trapped in the house, so she has to run and hide. This is an exceptionally stupid woman, and when he kills her, I am going to have a smile on my face so big it's probably going to have to be surgically re-fucking moved. God, I can't wait for him to fucking get her, man. It's going to be so much fun. So, wait a minute, wait. So the police found out that Vickers has a history of mental problems and that he's working under an alias after they hired him onto the police force. I'm sorry, guys. Logic is starting to slip into my head here, but I could have sworn that police did thorough and extensive background checks on everybody who becomes an officer. How the hell would you let something as big as, oh, he's psychologically fucked, and his real name is something else, Joe Henley. How the hell do you let something like that slip by when screening a potential officer? I'm kind of curious now. And we're probably never going to get the story behind that. That would probably make for a fascinating movie all by itself. Exactly how Vickers fell dick fucking first into being a cop. But hey, guys, at least now we know that whatever precinct this is absolutely incompetent when it comes to hiring cops. So that's interesting. Well, guys, that was Psycho Cop. Let me shut that off. Okay, oh my god, that ending. Okay, I'm sorry, guys, but I have to fucking give away, like, the very end of the movie. This actually isn't, like, this really isn't anything, like, ultra important. It's just something really stupid, and goddammit, I really have to share it. So, I mentioned that they bring up at one point that Officer Jesus Christ, that our titular psycho, cop Vickers is not actually, Joe, Vickers. He actually was working under an alias, and he's actually this he's this mentally unfriggin' stable guy named Henley. Well, at the very end of the movie, we hear a newscast that says that Joe Vickers is not actually this Henley. I cannot remember the name of the first name of Henley for whatever reason. I just heard it like a minute ago. It's already popped out of my head. But no, he actually isn't Henley. He's actually this serial killer who was involved in a bloody shootout with these same cops. And the head of the police force, the police chief, was quoted as saying that there is no way that our police force would let a lunatic into our police force, even though the story we were just told by a member of his own police force is that Vickers is actually this guy Henley who is mentally unfriggin' stable and worships Satan. Apparently, we never found that out because background checks. What the fuck are background checks? That actually makes it even worse. I questioned them on the whole background check thing. If he's actually a serial killer who was in a shootout with these cops, that actually makes that even stupider. But anyway, while I'm on the whole Vickers was actually Henley / was actually a serial killer thing, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that revelation of Officer Vickers actually working under a friggin' alias. The problem with that is, first of all, it comes out of left field. We're told it by a cop who him and his partner just happen to be wandering in the same patch of woods as everybody else. Why? I have no idea. And apparently, he knows everything about Henley. So we get the entire history about how Henley came out of a broken home and his parents used to beat him and the cops had to go and break it up constantly, and he used to worship God until he was found homeless, so he said, fuck God, I now worship Satan. This cop knows all of this, and I'm not entirely certain how. Was it when they searched Vickers' home and they checked his fingerprints to find out he's actually this guy Henley? Why the fuck didn't you notice that when you fingerprinted him when you did the background check? Oh yeah, because what the fuck are background checks? And by the way, do you know why they were searching his fucking, apartment? Because he didn't return to work after having a day off. Seriously, guys, there are a lot of moments in this movie where the writing just makes no fucking sense, and you're going to find yourself laughing because it's so stupid. We have the entire run about how Vickers is actually someone else and he came out of a broken home, and this cop knows every aspect of his fucking life, and somehow Vickers made it in because I guess he made it past the background check. Somehow. He made it past all the shit that cops have to go through in order to become a cop. He got past the fucking psychological screening, even though he's a he is a known mentally unstable person. He made it past the general background criminal check, which is even more laughable when you consider the fact that he was a serial killer before this. Just all of that makes no sense at all. Then I question this part also. The bit where he locks a victim inside the house from the inside by locking the door and taking the key. I know some of you who've never seen this movie are going to go, well, perhaps maybe it was an older, door. No, because we get a fucking info dump way early on in the film that this house was recently built because the house that used to be there burned the fuck down. So they rebuilt it, so everything is new. Everything is new and kind of modern, and new doors. You can't lock yourself from the inside. I don't even know if you can do that with older fucking doors, god damn it. But yet still, somehow he's locked her into this house by locking the door from the inside and taking the key. The house has multiple doors. Does she bother to check any other door? Because Vickers has been in the house for all of 2 minutes because he asked her for a fucking beer. Did she bother to check any other door? No. She immediately runs upstairs, which makes even less sense, and gets killed up there. Nothing of value was lost. Really, guys, a whole lot of the writing here is stupid, and I'm talking stupid even by slasher film standards. We have characters who border on brain dead. Guys, I understand that when you're making a slasher film, you want to make your cast of characters as fucking borderline unfriggin' likable as possible in order for it to be more satisfying when our psycho comes in and starts killing them off en masse. That is totally true about Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and Hellraiser and almost any other film where there is a body count. They either have no fucking personality or you're with them for so long and you hate them so bad that you can't wait for the killer to finally get them. And they were able to pull that off here. The problem is, you normally have to have a couple of characters who at least have some level of intelligence, who are at least in some way likable. Those are the characters who are going to make it to the end, hopefully. Normally, these films will have the most likable characters make it all the way to the end. They skipped that part, and we don't have a single likable character throughout the entire cast, except for our titular psycho cop, because Joe Vickers is a charming character, and I think it has something to do with how how the actor handled it. I'll cover that in a minute when I touch on acting. But we don't have a single likable character in this film outside of our killer, and that's usually a bad thing, mind you. We've totally had things such as Nightmare on Elm Street, where Freddy is certainly a hell of a lot more charming than any of his victims, but there's still a couple of likable characters in there who you don't want to see die. So at least we have that. This, we don't have that. We have Officer Vickers here, and then we have just this giant puddle of worthless, irritating mass at the bottom, and we get to watch as Vickers systematically goes and slices through, chops up, runs over, stabs, whatever the hell, until we're down to our last few survivors, which is fine. I don't mind that. That, honestly, is how slasher films work, is that we whittle it down to about 2, maybe, 1, and then they somehow get out scot fucking free. Problem is, again, they're usually kind of sort of likable, and we don't have that here, because there isn't a single character here. Not Eric, not Julie, not Doug, not Laura. By the way, the only reason why I know these fucking names is because I'm looking at a screen full of fucking credits. It's funny. I actually know the name of the killer, even though he's credited as Psycho Cop in the credits. But yet I don't know the names of anybody else. Fancy that shit. Perhaps maybe it's because he is such a likable character, and I've seen the sequel, and I loved the sequel. I guess I should mention, before I go any further, if I had to pick between this or Psycho Cop Returns / Psycho Cop 2, the sequel is infinitely better. I will try to focus less on that. I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, writing here is pretty bad because there are a whole lot of logic holes. Our characters are in no way likable, leaving us down to just the killer being the one lone likable character. And I should mention that he is a serial killer who worships Satan. When that honestly is your most likable character, you have fucked up somewhere, and you have fucked up real bad. Anyway, that is about all I can really say about, writing, is that it basically is a far stupider version of your usual slasher film, which, if you're really into slasher films, that is something that is going to really appeal to you if you just want to just shut off your fucking brain and just watch a lot of shit happen. There are a couple of problems with that, but I'll get to those in a second. If you're looking for something a little bit deeper, writing, that honestly is not here for you in terms of writing. Acting. I mentioned how Joe Vickers is played. The man who plays him is a man by the name of Bobby Ray Schaefer. And Bobby Ray Schaefer does a fantastic fucking job playing Officer Vickers. And it has something to do with something to do with his laugh, which borders between fake and creepy in just such a fucking way that it works, and it works incredibly well. And it also has to do with his eyes, his smile, his voice, his walk, everything. He pulls this off. He becomes the character, and it fucking rocks. Now, that stands out, the fact that he put a ton of effort in and actually made his character likable and interesting and fascinating and memorable. That stands out when the rest of the cast didn't bother to put any fucking effort in at all. And that, I think, is one of the reasons why we don't have a single likable character in the cast, minus our titular killer, is that Bobby Ray Schaefer tried, put a fuckload of effort in, and turned in something great, and everybody else didn't. Everybody else did not fucking care. So that once more turns it into a big cloying mass of nothing fucking worthlessness for Vickers to go in and just completely kill off, because the actors didn't bother to fucking try. There honestly, guys, are scenes where the acting is so fucking bad. You are going to find yourself laughing at it for being so bad, which to some people is certainly a positive. To people like me, and with slasher films especially, that honestly is kind of a positive. Bad acting is another reason why you want to watch these people fucking die, and it makes it all the more satisfying. So, that much, guys, as I would love to bitch about it, it actually kind of works. That our killer is the only one who's actually trying, and everybody else is phoning it in. It makes it all the more satisfying when each one of them dies off. So, we do have that going. Under most circumstances, I would completely drill a movie for having acting this fucking bad, but it almost works here. Now, I mentioned that this would be a slasher film, a great slasher film for fans of 80s goofy slasher flicks who just want to shut off their fucking brain and just watch fun shit happen. The problem is the gore. You see, a lot of slasher films had copious amounts of blood and gore, or at least had really fascinating kills. Unfortunately, this movie really has neither. We have almost no blood, we have almost no, gore, and I can count the number of really fascinating kills on one hand. In fact, I would say only about 2, maybe 3 kills were actually really good. So, in fact, hang on a sec. So we had the nightstick kill, we had the taser kill, we had the broken fucking neck way early on in the movie. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's 3 good fucking kills. Everything else kind of sucked. The one that I felt was the least satisfying is the one that I wanted to be the most gruesome. There was a character whose one lone character trait outside of being incredibly whiny is she likes to brush her hair, and she gets really, really pissy if her brush goes fucking missing. So she goes out to the woods to try to find someone who she thinks has stolen her fucking brush, and Vickers hits her with his fucking car. It would have been great if she would have splattered against the tree, or maybe splattered against the windshield. But no, he hits her going at maybe about 5 miles per hour, and she just kind of sort of gingerly flops onto the hood, and then lands at the base of a fucking tree. There is no blood, there is no gore, there is no tension, because he's barely revving up the engine, and they made no effort to make it look better. It actually was the weakest kill in the entire film. At least it was the weakest on fucking screen kill. There are also a lot of off-screen kills, and I know some people are not a fan of those because you really want to see it, and that's totally fine. I totally understand that is going to turn off a lot of people. So I just have to warn you that there is almost no blood. There's almost no blood to be found here, and there's a lot of off fucking screen kills that you never really get to see the aftermath of, which is kind of sad. Beyond all of that, guys, everything else here is all just technicals. Which I'm talking like lighting, camera work, sound mix, all of that is fine. Our soundtrack is really good. A lot of it is really cheesy 80s, hair fucking metal kind of shit, which is great. I love that. Ultimately, guys, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend Psycho Cop? Kinda, sure. Again, if you're really, really into 80s slasher flicks, and you want one that is, kind of sort of lacking in blood and gore and titties and all the other shit that were all hallmarks of the friggin' genre, and you want one that has a really interesting killer and irritating victims who make for really good fodder, by all means, check it out. I totally know that you can buy it on DVD and incredibly cheap, or I found the damn thing on YouTube, and you can probably find it. You can also find it there too, because it'll probably still be there for a long time. I have a funny feeling that the copyright holders of this movie really do not care. And I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, if I had to pick between this and the sequel is infinitely better. Probably because the sequel has a lot more blood, a lot more gore, and a lot more titties, and the blood and the gore hopefully will actually be there, because once more, when they would show it on Showtime, they cut all of the blood and gore, which was kind of sad, and it really neutered a whole lot of the kills. Good news is, I did buy the uncut version on Blu-ray, and I've been waiting to watch it. I wanted to watch this first. And while this wasn't that, great, and I can still kind of sort of recommend it, if you're looking for a good movie, I definitely recommend Psycho Cop Returns. That thing is a hell of a lot more fun. The kills are far, far more interesting. There is a ton of on-screen blood, gore, and titties, as long as you find the correct edit of the movie. Ultimately, guys, it is the vastly superior movie. So, if you really want to check out the first one, go ahead. You can find it totally for free on YouTube. You might even be able to find it on Netflix or some of the other services. I'm not totally sure. But if you really want something good, Psycho Cop Returns was just put out on Blu-ray recently. That actually is how I got my copy. I'm going to go watch that right now, because I want to see more of Officer Vickers dispensing his special brand of psychotic justice. And goddamn it, I know that Psycho Cop 2 is a fucking awesome movie. I'm going to go have some fun with that, and I'm going to delete this thing off of my hard drive, because I really don't think I'm going to want to watch it a second time. Anyway, my friends, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.